Hey everybody, Jeremy here. So I finally broke down and decided to try out one of these League of Legends figures. Now these are made by Spin Master. I've never had any Spin Master figures before, but I'm hoping that they're good because you can find these League of Legends figures in big box retailers, more prominently the ones like Walmart and Target. If you're not familiar with League of Legends, it's a video game. It's a MOBA, it's very popular, and MOBAs tend to have some really unique and varied characters. So I was pretty shocked when I saw these on store shelves. I don't know anything about these characters, but I just want to see how they are as figures, kind of like how I did with the Fortnite reviews. So this guy here is called Thresh. He is the Chain Warden. And his read up on the back goes that he is an ambitious and restless spirit of the Shadow Isles, imprisoning victims in his unholy lantern to torture for all eternity. So that sounds like that sucks. But yeah, about 20 to 23 bucks you can find these figures. I got him because he's one of the bigger ones. They also have some smaller ones as well, but I assume that they're all to scale. So yeah, let's check it out, see how this is. All right, so let's talk about this guy. Now, one of the first things that I noticed about this figure, even before I even took him out the box, is this huge circular stand that he comes with. And I think the other League of Legends figures also come with a pretty large stand. And this thing is massive. You know, I'm used to these little small circle plates that we typically get like with McFarlane toys. But this is a really big base and is raised a bit as well. So I like that because one of the problems with the circular bases, that at least the ones that I'm used to, is that they're really only good for getting one leg on them. And usually the other leg is off to the side somewhere. And if the balance is off, then the figure will tend to tip the stand over, negating the effect of the stand. But this thing is big, and like I said, it's raised, so it feels a lot more sturdy. So I think that this will definitely help figures stand up with a lot more confidence than just the really small ones that I've had in the past. Cool. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at Thresh here. Now again, no experience with League of Legends or this character or his lore, but just based on the looks of this guy, that classic sort of demonic crypt keeper, grim reaper kind of a look, he looks really cool. And I like how they have his hands and other aspects of him in this translucent sort of greenish blue color. It's almost see-through, not exactly, but it really helps to break everything up because the rest of him is just jet black all the way around. So I think it would have been cool if this was like glow in the dark. I think it really would have been awesome. But yeah, so really good contrast between all of the dark here. If we turn him over on the other side, you can see that this garb that he's wearing, it almost acts as a stand in and of itself because the plastic is pretty rigid. So it doesn't flow, you know, like cloth would, but it also helps him to stand up even if you don't have his feet perfectly perched on the ground with the ankles twisted just enough to get the center of gravity perfect. You know how it is when you're trying to pose figures, and figures that tend to have like longer plasticky capes or some type of garment that's on the ground. It helps them to stand. And the same thing happens with this guy. He has not fallen over yet because of all of that. But just kind of looking at it, you can see that there's detail in this. There's like separation between the top part of the cloth here and the bottom part of the cloth that you can't really see because everything is just painted straight up jet black. And then if you look over to the side, you can see that he has these really cool kind of ghoulish looking skulls right here on the side that has these horns and a mouth that's wide open. Again, it's just jet black. You can tell that there's some decent detail in there. I don't know if these parts of him in the game have any kind of coloration to them, but I guess if you're into customizing stuff, you can kind of bring out a little bit more of that sculpt if you really wanted it to come out good. As well as going, oh wow, I said that he hadn't fallen before and now he's starting to stumble. As well as on the back, you see on the back there, it almost looks like it's like a scorpion kind of a tail, but at the very top is like a traditional skull, you know. So a lot of demonic-esque imagery in this guy, which, you know, I guess is appropriate, you know. So let's turn him back over on the front and take a look at that head sculpt. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Maleficent kind of thing going on here with these long tentacle-like features protruding out of his head. But it looks really cool. I like it. The accessory that he comes with is a really unique kind of accessory, and I kind of don't even want to take it out of his hands, but you know, I kind of have to. I have to show you how it works. So out of the box, you get this really long tentacly piece here, and then you also get this scythe. The one end of this long piece fits inside of the handle of the scythe. I thought that it was going to go on to the figure, like some type of thing that you plug into his back, but it goes into the scythe instead. And then on the other end, there's a little hook that goes inside of the top piece of this lantern. And he can hold both of these at the same time. And like you saw, it makes for a really cool looking effect. So I guess this is what you use to kill folks, and this is what you use to store their souls. And it also has that translucent plastic in it. So, you know, it works really cool with them. So because I never had a Spin Masters figure before, I wanted to take a look at this articulation. But as you can see, I just took them off the base here, and you can kind of see what I'm talking about as far as how the draping cloth-like pieces are helping him stand, even though his feet are just not in a very good position to stand. I think he definitely would fall over if it weren't for this. You can see he's tilting right now. So that just kind of goes to show you how good this works as a little built-in stand kind of thing, I guess. All right, so let's look at some of that articulation. He's got a lot of like armor and a whole lot of stuff going on with him. So as far as getting the elbows, the elbow bend, it looks like we got ourselves a single jointed elbow right here. And I'm just looking at this the best that I can. So if I'm wrong about something, apologies. But you can move that arm in and out just like that, moving it across the chest. Does not have that that articulation that I like, where you can like really get the arms to move across the chest and meet with each other on the other side. And then also he has the swivel at the waist, which is really, really smooth actually. You know, really easily move a pretty decent amount from the middle all the way to the right. So that's all the way to the right, the middle, and then that's all the way to the left. Really only being stopped by these two pieces running into each other. So for the head, you see that he can't really look up all that much, and that's because you got this piece right here kind of blocking things. So I try to move his head up. It's not really happening. Moving the head down, it's also not really happening. But of course, left and right, of course you do. I feel like there's a lot of good leg articulation here that you can't necessarily take full advantage of because you got these dangly bits all over the place. But, you know, just kind of see that these legs are moving apart to the side, you know, decently wide. Of course, not the widest in the world, but decently wide. And like I said, it's smooth. It doesn't feel like it's frozen or anything. And I feel like these are also double jointed knees on him that, again, because of all this going on, it's going to be a bit of a challenge to really get that set in, but it's definitely there. Down here at the foot, you see we got the pivot on the foot to bring it up and down. Let's see if there's some pivot on that foot as well. No, I'm not seeing any pivot on this foot here. But it does just go up and down like that. So that is pretty good as well. And then, of course, we got a thigh cut right up in there. You see there's a little cut at the thigh. So you can twist that to the left and twist it to the right. I would imagine that when you pose this guy up, you would want to really take advantage of a really menacing kind of pose where you can hold the lantern and the scythe in a very dominating way. So not getting his legs to, you know, spread out all over the place and look like a Grim Reaper Spider-Man, you know, just more or less upright, maybe with a little bit of a bend, with a little bit of a tilt, you know, something like that. I'm gathering souls, you know, that kind of thing. But, you know, I do have to tell you, I am impressed with this figure. You know, I really do like him. I think Spin Master did a good job with him. I think that the detail is definitely there. Like I said, I don't know if in the game it's more color going on to his outfit or whatever. But from what you see here in the molding, it's actually really good. And I love the fact that these figures come with this kind of a base. You see, like I said, it's raised, so you can get like both feet of a character on here and not always have to worry about it flipping up like this. And I think these are some really cool looking accessories. Good paint on them. It's a cool figure. And because I personally don't know anything about this guy, and you might not know anything about this guy, but I think that if you find other figures in your collection that can kind of go along in this scale, he can be a cool little addition to it, even though he doesn't fit in lore-wise, you know, because he can just kind of be like a background demonic type of creature. And I think that that's pretty cool. So yeah, League of Legends, Spin Master, this is good stuff. And I'm hoping that more video game figures can come out in the future. I guess this is just my way of supporting that movement and supporting that cause, because I would really like to see that. I was really impressed with the Fortnite Victory Royale figures, and I think that this one turned out really good. And I would like to see some more in the future. Can you imagine if Epic hadn't canceled Paragon? Paragon figures would have been amazing. And it was a really good game though, but it's unfortunate they decided to not focus on that and sink all the attention into Fortnite. But that's a whole nother story. Anyway, that is Thresh from League of Legends. A pretty darn good action figure, I think. And you gotta love this accessory. It's awesome. So thank you all so much for checking out this video. And I'm definitely going to be making more and more of these as I get this grind started. So thanks again for watching. Till next time, I'm Jeremy. Talk to you later.